What's up YouTube? My name's Cody. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be putting out a review on the Kennedy RDA, the version 2 comp edition. I don't know. I've seen people call it the version 2, I've seen people call it the comp edition. Either way, lots of airflow, a lot better than the original. But it's a pretty good RDA. To be honest, it's been a bit of a challenge, really getting a good build on it and being able to enjoy it for the most part. I feel like that just it took me a while to figure out what builds actually worked well in the device itself. But I feel like I've finally gotten a good build on it. I've been enjoying the vape lately, but it just seems like it jumps around a little bit, to be honest. Go ahead and just to get that out there. But I guess we will dive up close. I'll run through the specs, I'll give you a little bit of a look at the device itself, and we'll go from there. Alright, here we are with the Kennedy RDA up close and personal. Right off the bat, you'll notice the fairly deep engraving that says Kennedy. Now, on the bottom, you'll see USA, and then you have your serial number right there. Also, you will notice a copper non-adjustable 510 pin, and then you'll notice your massive 3.5 millimeter airflow slots. There are 4 of them. The drip tip is removable. On the inside, you can barely pick it up on camera, but there is an O-ring that actually holds the drip tip on. It could probably be a friction fit drip tip, but I personally don't really know if I would be able to fit this on anything else. But the drip tip does fit on fairly well. Now next would be talking about the actual insides a little bit more. Everything is machined out of 303 grade stainless steel. Now here we are with the deck. It is a lead-free copper center post, so no worries there. Right now I've got a dual 5-wrap 20 gauge Kanthal build. It's ohming in around 0.12. Again, always make sure you are using your safest batteries. Right now I'm using a BC Box Mod with dual parallel Sony VTC4s. And of course I have no worries with that, but just make sure you are using the proper batteries for this particular build if you're going to replicate it. Now it supports, they say it supports 20 gauge builds, which obviously it does. I'm not sure the exact measurements on the post holes. They look to be probably about 1.5, 2 millimeters in size. Now the airflow does come from the bottom. It goes up, hits the bottom of the coil, and then goes over. And it does give off very good flavor. Now, the deck, I'm not really sure what size the juice well is, but putting this in here and marking it, it does appear to be about, I'd say 3 millimeters, maybe 3.5, 4 millimeters, somewhere around there. I haven't really had too many issues with the device itself. It is dual O-ringed, so it fits nice and snug. I haven't had any worries of picking up the mod by the top cap and everything just popping right off. It holds very well. One thing I would like to go ahead and say that is a con, a major con, something that actually just made me dislike this RDA for a good minute. It was covered in machine oil, and I am talking covered in machine oil. It took soaking in alcohol 3 separate times and boiling it 3 separate times to get it all out of there. It was just one of the worst machine oil incidents I've ever encountered my entire time out of vaping. But after getting the machine oil out and getting it vaping properly and clean, it has been a fairly good experience, especially with this 20 gauge dual cool. Another thing I guess to talk about would, I've already really went over everything. Non-adjustable copper 510, 3.5 millimeter airflow holes. There are 4 of them. They do come up in tubes, so there is no worries of really, there's not much leaking that goes on with this as long as you paint your liquid over the coils and make sure you don't over drip and let it seep into those. Those are the only way you're really going to experience any leaking. Me personally, I haven't had much, just a little bit of wet spots from underneath the coils. Mainly, what you would get off of just vaping anything. You see on here there's well, I can't even get it to focus good enough right now, but there's juice on here, but it's just you're basically going to get the same amount as any normal RDA would get as far as juice being on the device that you're using. But other than that, I guess there's not really too much else to talk about. I guess we'll dive back up close and talk about the Kennedy just a little bit more. Alright, we just got back from the up close look at the Kennedy RDA, and just to go over a few final thoughts, I guess you could say. Pros, there's a lot of them. Fits up to 20 gauge wire. You have issues with your Claptons and your staggered builds, twisted builds. I managed to fit parallels in here, but I did have to stack the build. But 20 gauge by itself, if you're just somebody that likes using standard gauge wire and no fancy coils, then you'll have no issues fitting up to 20 gauge in it. Another really good pro is not having to ever align anything whenever you put your top cap on. You literally never have to put it on a certain way. You can just pop it right on. And like I said, the fit is fairly good. You'd have no worries of reaching in your pocket and trying to grab your mod and it falling off. Drip tip, like I said, fits nice. Everything fits very, very well on the device. Cons, machine oil. I mean, very, very bad. This is something that was a really big issue with the clone. I have two of these, and both were covered in machine oil to the point where you could just absolutely smell it fresh out of the box. Bad things. Leaking, you would think with a bottom airflow design there would be a lot of leaking issues, and honestly I haven't encountered very many. Let me take a vape real quick. The clouds you get off of it are just, amazing. They're impressive. They're really nice clouds. The air, it's a really airy draw, which is good for people that like building down low, kind of similar to the way it's built right now. Which will lead me to the post holes. Post holes are kind of small in my opinion. I feel like 3mm is pretty much standard, at least 2.5mm. I feel like that should be standard with everything. A lot of people are getting into building coils, and that's a very if you can't build your coils the way you prefer into an RDA, then you're probably not going to get that RDA. But other than those, there's not really any other cons, and like I said, the pros, I mean pretty much the whole entire device is a pro. Only cons, post holes could be a little bit bigger, and that's subjective. And then the machine oil. That's the only cons I really have for this device. And the machine oil thing is just, that's the only thing that's really major. The post holes, like I said, that's subjective. Most people probably won't need them that much bigger than what they are. But the machine oil, everybody will have to deal with that issue. That's something that they just need to clean it. They need to clean their product. Now, you can pick this up, the authentic Kennedy RDA version 2 from Viper Vape for $105, or you can go check out Vapor DNA's site and pick it up for $110. Whichever one you prefer to go to, it's up to you. Also, you can pick up a tobacco clone of the device at eCiggity for a cheap $16.99. $17 for this particular clone, which I purchased is a tobacco clone, and other than the machine oil, I would say well worth the $17 spent. And there's a lot of caps that you can get that will change the way you vape. There's the Dragon cap, and actually I think it might, I can't remember if it's the Demon cap or if it's the Dragon cap. Either way, there's that one, and then there's also the Gremlin that just came out, and that's basically the slam cap for the tugboats, if you're familiar with that. So that's how that would work out. But other than that, there's not really too much else I need to talk about the RDA. Would I buy it again if I didn't have this, or would I buy it if I hadn't already had it? Probably. I mean, it's a very good RDA, and I'm glad that I purchased it. It's been a good vape. Can't really say that it's replaced my El Cabron, but it's it's working its way there. But for the money, $105, is it worth it? That's up to you. In my opinion, I would just get the clone. If you really like the clone, pick up the authentic. 17 bucks. Can't really lose spending 17 bucks on an RDA, even if it only lasts you a couple of months. But other than that, I guess I'm going to go ahead and cut this video off. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this video, and keep on vaping.